As much as nobody wants to think of coronavirus as being a world war or World War III, as the days go by, it seems more and more like it's that, exactly that. I just read an article on telegraph.co.uk that said Italians over 80 will be left to die as country overwhelmed by coronavirus. This is sadly very true that many countries are becoming overwhelmed by coronavirus, but it's not right to decide who lives and dies just because there's a disaster going on. It's simply not right. Like, they can be denied intensive care units if they're aged 80 or older. They can be denied help if they're sick. This is very much a war that we're facing. And one doctor was quoted in this article as saying, "Who lives and who dies is decided by age and by the patient's health conditions." This is how it is in a war. We're definitely facing war-like conditions. Policies have been put in place that restrict travel. People are encouraged to stay home. People are told not to panic shop. There's rationing going on, implemented by stores because people immediately began to start panic buying and selling off what they bought for higher prices, exploiting those who are on limited income. I think it's crap. I think this whole thing is a terrible situation and people's worst sides are coming out, but we are very much in a war against disease. The start of the disease was not deliberate as far as we know, but it has slowly taken over the entire world. Nobody in the world is immune to it. People have gotten better and people have also died. Casualties are imminent, they're expected, but they're very unfortunate because we shouldn't have to deal with this, but we are. We are having to deal with a situation that is very, very serious. People are not taking it seriously. They're making jokes about traveling and about everything else. People are wondering, oh, why can't we go to school? Well, guess what? School is one of the breeding grounds for this disease. And that's why it's canceled, at least in Canada. Honestly, the government's doing all they can, and we should be doing all we can to mitigate the spread of this virus as best as we can. We're not going to get everything. We're not going to be able to save everybody. We're not going to be able to keep it from spreading everywhere. Because even when everybody is striving to be smart in how they conduct themselves in this terrible coronavirus war that we're facing, some people will think that they know best. They'll break protocols and try to test whether or not they can be immune from this terrible disease, and they'll go out and then they'll risk exposing others, and they won't care that they've done it. They'll do it simply because they feel challenged. They feel like they're above the law, and they'll feel like, why can't I just test this and see if I get it? Or see if I'm immune, or see if people are overreacting. This is not something to overreact about. Coronavirus is a very serious thing. We don't know how serious yet. We know that many have died. Thousands have died. And we know that many more will die. We know that many more will get sick. So this is very much a war against a very, very slippery, quiet, intense, and sadly fatal disease if it's left untreated or treated improperly, or it hits the right group of people, because there are people vulnerable to death because of this disease.